It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh, let's review.
We'll analyze the scene
Sounds holly jolly to me.
before it's over. Let's begin.
Bum.
Bum.
That's right, folks. Since the Christmas season is upon us, we thought the way to celebrate and get into the holiday spirit would be with some holiday reviews.
6 to be exact. Selected and arranged for your Yuletide pleasure.
So, silver up those bells, light the multicolored lights, and go out and build a snowman to join us as we engage in some seasonal shenanigans.
I'm
All right.
too much.
All right, folks, and after the train wreck that was Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas, I personally think it's a fun train wreck. Dragon has different thoughts on it. But we thought after that, what's sure to be like an infamously bad Christmas-related piece of media for years and years to come, we thought we'd go back to an all-time classic. And Dragon, I would wager to say, like, this isn't our finale this year, but this is so good that it could be a finale. This is finale-worthy.
That it is.
So we're talking The Year Without a Santa Claus. I'm going to go on record, Dragon. I'm not a big Rankin Bass fan. I respect it. It's just like, it's something about like the pace and the tone for me that's a little off. I don't find them particularly engaging. But I will say that this one might be my favorite out of the ones I've seen. I don't think I've seen all of them, but out of the ones I've seen, this one's probably my favorite.
All right.
Okay, we got Pink Pearl in the comments here. She says, Heat Miser rules here. Yeah. All right. And she says, it's been a few years since I have seen this movie, but I'm very clearly remember Heat Meister, Snow Miser, that silly song, and Mama. Oh, I think it's a little bit weird that Santa calls Mrs. Claus Mama. I don't know.
It's an old like a mom and pop operation sort of thing.
Yeah, I know. It's very old fashioned, yes.
Yeah.
But you know what? On that note, Dragon, I love how old fashioned this thing is. This thing is so quaint that, like, I don't even say this facetiously, but like I feel like a 10-year-old could easily like remake this short with how quaint it all is. Just the animation, and it all looks so homemade, and it's also rough around the edges, but that really is the charm of it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Drake, what are your thoughts on Year Without a Santa Claus? Give us your thesis, sir.
Well, second to Rudolph, this is easily the standout of the Rankin Bass stop motion. Not, I want to make clear, Rudolph's not my favorite, but I'm just saying, like, I think when people think Rankin Bass,
Are
they think
you and I on the same page where Rudolph kind of annoys us?
Well, it doesn't annoy me. I think it's a little overrated.
Yeah, I feel like we've had this conversation before.
I'm a Frosty man through and through, no contest, man. I live for that snowman.
And honestly, I personally prefer the Max Fleischer 6-minute Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer short.
Point being, I live and breathe the snowman, man. The snowman.
Snowman.
Okay, in all seriousness, so I think, looking at it, I think Year Without Santa Claus, it's second to Rudolph. It is the standout of the Rankin Bass stop motion, because if people aren't thinking about Rudolph, then they're thinking about this. Unfortunately, Frosty's up there, man, but they're always going towards the stop motion because it stood out to them. It was the first time they saw stop motion. Obviously, it's going to stick in the brain a little bit more.
I always forget that Frosty is a Rankin Bass.
It is. I want to say, I forget if Frosty predates Rudolph or not, but
I think it probably does.
Rudolph was 60. I think Rudolph was 64. Oh yeah, Frosty was in the 50s. Yeah, Frosty does predate Rudolph. Yeah.
Anyway. Pink Pearl says, I do like Frosty. Pink Pearl, believe me, Dragon's got mad love for Frosty.
I do. I have ties to that snowman.
You too. All right.
You got deep ties to that snowman. Anyway, so this is definitely. This is definitely one of the, this is one of the original kind of waning Christmas spirit stories, as in, like, your main premise is that someone, like, the Christmas spirit is in short supply, we need to change that as our conflict. So this is definitely one of the original We see that story tackled all the time. Like, man, like you look at Elf, for example. Elf like hinges on the fact of like there's just no more Christmas spirit in New York, and of course, it's very much kind of the point of genesis for all of that kind of that huge story point. That's kind of what this one is. It's in many sense of the word. And I really want to watch these back to back one year. I really want to see Santa Claus is Coming to Town and this one, because rewatching this really seems like an excellent sequel to Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I think they really, bear in mind, it's been ages since I've rewatched Santa Claus is Coming to Town, because usually I'm probably aiming for this one if I'm aiming for one of the two. And because this one really seems like it would echo the beginnings with a potential ending story. It's kind of like what this one kind of sets itself up to be, where, okay, we're the genesis of Santa Claus versus the potential end, or kind of the decline of Santa Claus and the Christmas spirit, the mission at hand. It kind of, this whole special is about demystifying the folk hero with really human problems. Like, well, he's got a cold. Santa's got a cold, man. Maybe he doesn't want to do it this year. You ever think about that? This really, this special really hinges on acts of kindness and the Christmas spirit to save Christmas and, in essence, save Santa Claus. This has a whole lot going for it. It's coming from really pure place. I will say this: I got some thoughts on this coming back to the well on this one. It's been a while, because honestly, we all think of one particular segment that we've already kind of referenced here when we think of Year Without Santa Claus. I think we're all in the same boat on that one specific sequence. So it's always on the mind. But I got to tell you, watching it from start to finish, this year around, I got to tell you, I got some thoughts on the execution. We'll get there.
All right, interesting.
Not negatives. I have thoughts on it.
I do really like Pink Pearl's analogy here. Frosty is Frankenstein, but Christmas flavored.
I do love Frankenstein, so maybe it's like a Freudian thing, like, he's brought
if
to
you
life,
love
man.
Frankenstein so much, why haven't we been able to talk about it on Shenanigans in like fucking 6 seasons, mister?
Well, first of all, I think you mean
I'm bringing some inside baseball into this. I'm still not over that.
Okay, well, first of all, I think you mean Haunted Holiday Hijinks, not Chinese.
Oh, you're right. I do mean Haunted
Mr.
Holiday
Bite My
Hijinks,
Head
I'm
off
sorry.
over the semantical things.
Oh, God.
I'll point out that the main things that we've done were Frankenstein themed.
Okay. Yeah, but we haven't done the original, man.
And
we haven't done Karloff.
We are going to get to it.
All right. Anyway.
If someone were a little more on his game, it would have gotten into it already.
All right.
Anyway, our bickering aside, almost as if we're winter and summer themed brothers at arms here. Anywho.
Okay. So, Dragon, get to the plot. Let's break it down.
Okay, plot goes a little something like this. So Santa Claus is sick, and a very cynical doctor suggests that he give up Christmas because no one cares. So it's up to
kind of like the cynical version of We Don't Care.
Yeah, it is a cynical version. It's like, you're sick. Who cares? The who cares versus we don't care. Anyway, so it's up to Mrs. Claus, up to good old Mrs. C. Not Marion Ross, the other Mrs. C. It's up to Mrs. C. To send 2 elves and a baby reindeer to prove otherwise and save Christmas. Again, Rankin Bass was really big on the whole, let's save Christmas. And this is one of the originals. And after a few setbacks, it all hinges on getting snow to fall in Southtown, which leads to basically a lot of in-betweening and back-channeling with the Miser brothers. Thanks to their mother, thanks to Mother Nature, the world gives Santa the holiday off, but inspired by the kids, Santa Claus, he makes the deliveries anyway, and it wasn't a year without a Santa Claus after all. And that's it in a nutshell.
All right, Monkey is here. He says, "Hola, Monkey." All right, so Dragon, let's start breaking down the characters. We'll get to Mrs. Claus, and oh my God, Dragon, this to me is like one of the main reasons why this special holds up for me as well as it does. I mean, outside of like arguably Elizabeth Mitchell and the Santa Claus 2, and that's mainly just because I love Elizabeth Mitchell from Lost. This is probably hands down my favorite depiction of Mrs. Claus. I mean, man, she has such a meatier role in this than she usually does, and it's so nice to see her fleshed out.
You know, it's funny when you bring Mrs. Claus. I mean, the two that kind of spring to mind again is Elizabeth Mitchell, who was great, and a really obscure one here, Mrs. Claus from Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I still love the setup of
The
that.
Mrs. Claus to the fucking Gilbert Gottfried Santa.
No, that's Billy and Mandy, Tiki. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
Though.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
That is a good one.
Right.
That's actually it's a good point. I forgot it, but yeah, that's a good point.
Is that a good Mrs. Claus?
Well, I mean, it's an interesting one. I mean, it's a memorable Mrs. Claus. What I mean, though, is remember they had like the corporate setup in the Fairly Odd Parents North Pole, which is kind of cool.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, okay, sorry, getting back on point here. Yes, so Mrs. Claus here. Yeah, this is an excellent Mrs. Claus as well. You know, she's a loving wife. She contemplates making the run herself. But again, we're kind of it's a pre-Noel Santa. It's a pre-Noel Christmas special. Let's call it. So it's so sad, it's so dated that we instantly shoot that one down. She can't deliver the gifts.
Oh God!
When you really think about it, it's like, yeah, we're pre-Noel at this point.
That's not the only thing that's a little dated about this culture.
We'll get there. We'll pace ourselves on that one. But you see what I'm saying? Though? It's like the points I love.
Yeah.
I love that she showed the initiative.
Like with Noel, it's kind of just like a challenging social standard sort of thing. This is just straight up like, oh, you silly woman.
Literally, could go back to the kitchen moment here, like you can't make that. No, but seriously, it's got that's the thing. I do love she took the initiative, and I was like in her corner, man, because I love she's the. I gotta tell you, I felt a really weird perennial connection with the Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus in this. I really did.
Okay, does it have anything to do with what Pink Pearl is saying here? Santa, why call Mrs. Claus Mama? And why does she call you Papa? You have no kids. Unless that snow prospector from one of the other movies is actually your kid.
Okay, that is an awesome observation, Pink Pearl. It went completely. I didn't think of that. Yeah, why would he? Okay, anyway, regardless. What I was getting at is that I don't know. Here's the thing: the whole business of the North Pole and it's very much like a mom and pop operation. It did very much like it kind of reminded me of my own grandparents in a sense. It kind of reminded me of that, where it's a sense, especially the Santa Claus, the idea of like, when my grandfather gets sick and there's business to be done, it's a whole thing, right? I feel I felt a great swell of sympathy for both of them in the situation. Of course, the strong woman being Mrs. Claus, being the one who's like, she has to deal with kind of this husband who's a little stubborn, a little bit like, he's sick, and kind of basically she's being really supportive. I love that. And that's what I'm saying. I respected her get up and go, and having been a while since I've seen this, I was kind of blanking, like, does she actually try to deliver the gifts by herself? And of course, I forgot. Oh no, she's just instantly shot down. Oh. Man, I was in full support of Mrs. Claus going out there and saving Christmas, man. I know obviously we're going to get to the other stuff later on. It's like, I knew something was going to go wrong. I forgot, like, oh man, what? Anyway, point to end. It's,
I mean, at the end of the day with, it's the doctor's fault, and we'll get to the doctor in my favorite moments, but
Yeah, but yeah, she's kind of. Here's the funny thing about Mrs. Claus, though. It's really interesting about her. She's kind of a master manipulator. When you think about it, for a good cause, mind you. She's kind of a master manipulator. She's quite the negotiator. She's doing all this back channeling, and while she is not suiting up, she is the heart and soul of what saves Christmas. She's the backbone of it, man. She's going to these figures. She's showing such initiative here, which you never get from Mrs. Claus. Like rarely do you get from Mrs. Claus. I mean, she plays a pivotal role outside, like, oh look, she's the face of the mom and pop organization, or she's like, oh yeah, she's the one making the cookies. Like, oh, I'm worried he's not gonna make the delivery this year, or oh, why is he gotta push him? So that sort of stuff,
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And just to highlight the voice actors here. Monkey says a good performance from Shirley Booth. I would say it's a great performance from Shirley Booth. I think she really brought a lot of warmth to this role.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about the Santa himself.
Okay, hold on. Just kind of going through some comments here. Pink Pearl says Noel was pretty good, and I would say pretty good is the word for Noel. Pink Pearl. I don't think it blew anyone away, but I don't think anyone was offended by it.
Noel does have a number of pleasant qualities to it. I will give it.
It does.
I don't think
it doing yoga, man.
I don't know if it quite saves the whole, but I mean, Anna Kendrick was wonderful in that movie. I really did.
All right, and let's see. All right. Yeah. Okay. Just more kind of snow prospector stuff, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So yeah, the big man himself, Santa Claus. And like I said, it's really the freaking doctor's fault. Like Santa just feels a little under the weather. It's the doctor who's just like, nobody cares about you, Santa.
Yeah, I love
geez, I would feel like shit too.
I love how human a take this is on Santa Claus, just kind of questioning his value, like really deep into his career of like, I mean, if no one cares, why am I still doing? Why am I putting myself through this?
Right.
And again, I'm so sympathetic towards the Santa Claus. Like, yeah, give him a Christmas off. I mean, we're so, especially these days, we're so gritty. We want so much. Why can't we just give him a day off and get ourselves our own presents? It's so simple. Like, yeah, let's give him a day off, especially if he's sick. He's been doing so much for us. It's the least we can do for him. And I do love my favorite quality about the Santa Claus. They really melts my heart. This almost made a few of my moments later on too, because there's a treasure trove to pick from with this. But I love Santa Claus taking responsibility for everyone in this. I love that the Vixen the reindeer, for example. I love he goes down to the vet, he finds the reindeer. I love how he pays the fine and everything. I just love how responsible he is. While everyone else they're doing this for his loved ones. Like, oh, they mean well, but they're kind of causing a little bit of trouble, a little bit of a ruckus here. I'm gonna solve it. They'll never even know, but I'm gonna save the reindeer as soon as they won't last long. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's so nice and responsible, man. I know it sounds so milquetoast.
No. I mean, totally. It's like. I think a lot of times with Santa, especially now, we kind of have to make him either a badass Santa or a dopey Santa, or we need to just kind of have some twist on Santa. And don't get me wrong, all those are good. I love me some some Alec Baldwin badass Russian Santa. That's a great take on Santa.
And of course, I mean Kurt Russell being right now. He's got my friends are still gushing. We did our Christmas stuff. They were gushing over it. Remember that Kurt Russell Santa? Yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, that's the thing. Like this again, this Santa Claus. I love that he's playing hurt, man. There's something really admirable about that. He's playing hurt this time around. He's sick as a dog, and he's been talked down to. He's like, no one cares about Christmas, Santa. You're doing this pointless. You suck. But no, he's really he's just this guy. He's just really got a lot of jolliness in his heart, and he just can't fight at the end of the day. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, what I was getting at is at the end of the day, like I said, you could have a badass Santa, you could have a dopey Santa, you could have a Gilbert Gottfried Santa, you could have an evil Santa, but at the end of the day, there's just something really charming and nice about seeing a Santa that just, that's just a nice guy. There's no real frills to this guy. I love how casually he uses magic out in the open and everything. I don't know. There's something very charming and quaint about how simple this Santa is.
There's also this really clever deception where Santa Claus, technically, he is in control of the situation here. But again, he's kind of psyched himself out, where he is not in control of things. That's the thing. I love it. The Santa Claus were presented as kind of weak and human.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Ugh. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay, my bad. I just realized I had the waiter story on there instead of seasonal shenanigans. My bad. But also, Monkey is saying that the doctor is kind of like the waiter for my story. I would say the Monkey. Honestly, I would say the waiter was worse. I'm not saying that the doctor was great, but I'm saying the waiter might have arguably been even worse.
Well, the doctor at least had his best interests at heart. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Waiter was kind of a wine snob.
Right. Well, remember, it wasn't just the wine.
Dragon. I know it was more. I'm economizing.
Oh, I'm going to take out my notepad and physically show you that I didn't write down this order, and I'm going to raise a fuss about it.
I don't want to bore the people with going through the whole waiter thing.
God.
Trying to simplify it anyway.
All right.
Point being, what was I going on about? The point being, a weak
Monkey
human.
Says, fair enough. Nevertheless, I shall imagine the doctor is the waiter. You do you, Monkey. More power to you. Anyways.
The point being, we see Santa in a way we usually don't see him. That's kind of what I'm getting at overall here. Okay.
Really quick before we transition, because I do agree with this to a certain extent. A personal favorite Santa was Tim Allen's Santa. good guy, but doesn't always know what he's doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah,
Tim Allen was a great Santa, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. And he especially kind of had that trilogy of growth, especially those first two movies.
Yeah, the first. Oh my god, the arc of Tim Allen, the first Santa Claus is great. Like seeing like the set, like him walking down the street. Oh god, it was so sad. And out the window. Anyway,
of course,
we're trailing off.
Well, no, but really quick, just to put it for the record, because it's been a while since we did that season where we talked about the 3 Santa Claus movies. Dragon and I are huge defenders of Santa Claus 2.
Yeah, I love Santa Claus 2. Yeah.
Santa Claus 2 was a huge surprise when I came back to it. I mean, I'm not saying it's as good as the first movie, but I'm saying it's almost as good as the first movie.
Nothing in that trilogy beats that Secret Santa scene.
Right.
I will die on that mountain. Anyway. Okay, so Jingle and Jangle. The kind of our... I gotta tell you, here's the thing. On the rewatch, Jingle and Jangle, kind of pointless when you think about it.
Oh yeah, I kind of agree.
They're kind of the Jay and Silent Bob in a sense. I'm not trying to put down Jay and Silent Bob. I'm saying they are kind of like they're kind of the average Joe's just kind of thrown into this impossible adventure.
I think Jingle is a little bit more memorable just because he has more lines and he has a distinct design. Jangle is very forgettable. Yeah. Like I literally can't name a single thing that Jangle does.
Well, I think so Jangle is the blonde one, right?
Jangle is the tall one.
Yeah, the tall one with the
yeah.
Of course, basically Jangle's big thing is he sacrifices his socks to transform the reindeer into a puppy or like a little dog, or a big dog, I guess. Anyway, so basically, there's kind of two average Joes just kind of thrown in there, in with a lot of skeptics. Like, hey, we're elves. Like, oh no, you're not elves. Like, get out of here with that noise.
Really, it should have just been Mrs. Claus going on the mission herself.
It should have been, but again, I don't know, maybe it's the times or something. Maybe it's like we can't just have Mrs. Claus do stuff.
That's what I'm saying, right?
It's like, come on, don't. No one puts Mrs. C in a corner, man.
Like Mrs. Claus should have just interacted with the kid and brought the kid on the adventure, Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
not much to say about Jingle and Jangle.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to. Let's move on to Iggy, the good Iggy, not the terrible one from Hey Arnold. Let's talk about the good Iggy.
Oh God! Oh man, we should do it. We should do like a beat by beat on that episode one day, Dragon. I bet you that would do good on our channel. No, I'm saying, I bet you that would get. I know, but it would get numbers, Dragon. I'm talking purely from a from a view count perspective.
God. Anyway, so Iggy, good Iggy is skeptical. Basically he's initially skeptical, but here I love how nice this kid is, man. He's so darn.
Yeah,
I love it.
Totally. He's a skeptic, but he's very gentle about it.
That son broke my heart recently.
Oh God! What?
I did a few Christmas parties because now we're getting close to Christmas season. A bunch of Christmas parties are sprouting up.
Of course,
Christmas party, and basically, people bringing their kids and stuff. Kind of in the mingling area, playing air hockey and stuff. Regardless, well, a few little kids. Like I think there's like a sister and a brother. The brother's like 5 years old, and the girl's like probably 8 or something. I gotta tell you, so like, hey, Santa Claus is coming, or like the people are hosting, the nice, kindly people who are hosting the party says, hey, Santa Claus brought you some stuff upstairs, and the kids were like, they couldn't be bothered with. They're like, go on, get upstairs, because they didn't believe in Santa Claus, and they said this, but I'm like, gobsmelly, what?
Ah, man.
That kills me, man. It's like I'm like, what? And me and the guy, basically me and the host of the party, we're looking.
Did they have? Okay, I don't mean to. I don't mean to be a dick when I say this, but did they have their faces and their iPads?
No. These are their kids playing with toys and stuff. I mean, later on they unwrap the toys, but that's what I'm saying. It's so sad to me. Like me, it is like such a generational thing because the guy was hosting the party, a kindly old man, and he's a friend of the family, the sort of thing. And he and I just had this like look of exchange, like. Can you believe it? Like, no, I can't believe it. It's like, what the? So anyway, sorry. Point being Iggy, what I'm saying is that Iggy a little skeptical at first, but again, still a nice kid. He sees like a kindly strange. He sees a stranger a little sick. He and his mother, they invite him in. Get some coffee in him. He gets some, warm him up a little bit. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Again, act of kindness from a stranger.
We have a really good song to go along with it too.
Which we'll get to.
A really good song, Dragon. Really, really, really good.
Sure.
Really heartwarming song there.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, Iggy also very proactive. Iggy second to Mrs. Claus. Again, if Mrs. Claus were featured a little bit more. Basically, before we get to Mrs. Claus, we have someone. Again, we should have just we shouldn't have sent Jingle and Jangle, but basically, Iggy really bails. Iggy literally does exactly what Jingle and Jangle do when they go down to the mayor's office, which we'll get to. It was literally had the same idea, and it's like, well, Iggy could have done that by himself, really.
Exactly.
Okay, the point being, nice kid, shows Santa Claus some pure stranger some kindness, goes a long way. Very, very proactive, nice kid. Okay,
really quick, some comments from Pink Pearl about the Santa Claus movies. I loved 1 and 2. Nothing beats 1, but I agree. 2 is great. Yeah, we're pretty much on the same page there. 3 was odd, not that bad. It was more decent than Home Alone 3.
Oh, it kicks the crap out of Home Alone 3, man. Come on, get it.
I'm the only one on the Home Alone 3 is like the fucking Home on the Range of live action movies. Like, I like Home Alone 3. I'm not going to say it's as good as the first 2 Home Alone movies, but I like it enough. I mean, I think at the very least, Home Alone 3 kind of twisted up the formula.
It's the sellout, man. It's the sellout. Let's do it again with a different kid. That's when it become like a brand instead of like a movie.
They do it a little differently, though, because it's like a kid homesick from school instead of just being left home alone, There's some twist to it.
Yeah, like a twist, and we're going around.
And I like the bad guys. I think the bad guys kind of are what saved that movie.
Yeah, well,
I mean, granted, they're not as good as the previous bad guys.
I'm saying, how can you beat Pesci and Daniel Stern?
You can't.
Okay, what are we doing right now? Let's get back on.
All right, sorry.
Defending Home Alone 3. This is ridiculous. Anyway, let's move on.
I will defend Home Alone 3, sir. It's a perfectly serviceable movie.
I will defend it over 4 and 5. That's not saying much.
All right. Okay. Jesus.
Anyway.
Hold on.
Only Home Alone sequel I care about is 2.
Pink Pearl says, I would have loved to see a movie about Mrs. Claus deliver the toys. It'd be funny.
Yeah.
I assume she's talking about Elizabeth Mitchell, Mrs. Claus, because we're on the subject of Santa Claus. And yes, Elizabeth Mitchell, Mrs. Claus movie. Yes, give it to me. Anything with Elizabeth Mitchell. Elizabeth Mitchell needs way more work than she gets. I love her. Anyways.
Honestly, I like the concept too, so long as they didn't do like a thing where it's like, I'll have Melissa McCarthy be a goofy Santa Claus and have her deliver. As long as we didn't do that, I'm pretty on board for anything we do, like Mrs. Claus delivering the gifts. That'd be kind of cool too.
And then she's saying, Blue Christmas, Elvis Presley, or was that another movie? Sorry, been a while. Yeah, Blue Christmas from Elvis Presley's Blue. Well, it's not Elvis Presley's version of Blue Christmas, but it is a version of Blue Christmas. It's played. All right. And then Monkey says, I want to see a version of Home Alone where the Miser brothers are the burglars.
I do a funny thing about the Miser brothers. I'm going to hold on to it.
Okay. Speaking of which, I believe that's where we're at, right? We're at Snow Miser.
Yeah, well, we have Heat Miser first.
Heat Miser. Okay, Heat Miser. I don't know. I just think Snow Miser is a lot more magnetic of a personality than Heat Miser is. Heat Miser is just a little bit of a curmudgeon. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Heat Miser. I just think that Snow Miser kind of steals the show.
So Heat Miser is voiced by the great George S. Irving. I'll tell you this, man. I love the voice of Heat Miser. I do. It's something so entertaining about it. But I actually agree with your points. Like, Heat Miser is definitely my less favorite of the two. Again, still two great characters. Just of the two, a little lesser. He is, he's just kind of these. The idea though is, I like he's not fully a personal thing against Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus. Just like, well, I like to be friends with Santa Claus, but
it's more of a principle thing than anything else. I like that. Yeah,
I love the layers that we applied to that. I completely forgot about the great layers that we applied to these Miser characters. That delighted me to no end. It really did. It's basically Heat Miser out of the two. He's very fun. He's very over the top. He wants his fair share in his representation. He wants his equal representation, which is just great. He's very hot-tempered, as you can imagine. Easily frazzled. He's easily frazzled of the two brothers. Basically, he is classic Rankin Bass, this character.
Totally.
Classic Rankin Bass in all the ways.
All right.
All right, so Snow Miser, man.
Snow Miser.
I love Snow Miser.
Oh my god, wow.
I
That's
do.
even more enthusiastic than I thought you were going to get.
No, I love Snow Miser, man. He's so cool. Well, obviously. But
A little fun fact from Monkey here. Snow Miser was the commander in Captain EO.
oh, cool.
I actually didn't know that.
I actually found an amazing fact about Snow Miser, about Dick Shawn, the original voice of Snow Miser. You got voice you
Okay,
have
really quickly, Pink Pearl saying, wonder, can I make a suggestion for the DCOM review? Because one of my favorites is a Christmas movie.
Well, if it was 'Twas a Night, we already covered it.
You can make a suggestion, Pink Pearl, but as of now, our picks are pretty much locked in. But I'm curious, though, which one do you want us to review? I'm curious. Because keep in mind, we're only doing 6 Christmas things this year, not 12. So,
Christmas on a budget. You could look at it as Christmas on a budget, or so we did 6 now, and we did 6 for Christmas in July, and put them together, and it's 12 for the 12 days of Christmas.
Also, isn't it technically our 6th season of Christmas in July?
It is too. We're all synergistic here. It's 666, man. Little devil.
Okay. Ultimate Christmas Present. I vaguely remember that one.
Is that the snow one, or is that the one with the brother? No, it's Simple Wish. No, okay, it's the one where they have like the little girls find the little button that causes the snow or something. They found a little snow. I forget what causes it, but they make it snow. I think that's the ultimate Christmas present. I'm not sure. Maybe Pink Pearl can refresh us. I don't.
Okay.
Anyway,
like I said, Pink Pearl. I assume it's on Disney Plus. Like I said, Pink Pearl, probably not going to get to it this year because our picks are already pretty locked down. But thanks for the suggestion. We'll definitely keep it in mind for next year.
Now Dick Shawn. So Dick Shawn does the voice of Snow Miser. I found something amazing about Dick Shawn. Dick Shawn, he died performing.
Oh wow!
On stage. I just say that this guy was like a performer, man. Like, my God, Dick Shawn. It's like, man, to die during your craft, man, there's something powerful about that, man. Like, died. And it was also like a death. It was like not a death scene, but it was a scene about like, kind of joking about death, too. Oh, my God, it's so.
I gotta tell you, the dying doing what you love thing, that kind of hit me hard when it comes to, I know this totally is off topic, but Steve Irwin's death. Yeah, that hit me hard with the whole, like, he was definitely the fact that he was getting footage for his daughter's show, Dragon.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It was his daughter. Okay, now you're getting me sidetracked. Anyway. Okay, anyway, back to the Snow Miser. Again, less death on the Snow Miser, more of the great stuff, the Snow Miser. Snow Miser, I love how he's the more welcoming and theatrical of the brothers. Basically, as Mrs. Claus hypes him up to be, he's such a ham, and he is such a ham, and I love him for it. He's absolutely a ham. He's very charming, though. He's just so darn charming. He's got a great, I love his design a lot more than the Heat Misers, too. He's got a great design. I love, honestly, the line sums the Snow Miser up for me is "Don't be a stranger." He's like, hey, come back soon. I love you. You're the big man. Essentially,
he kind of strikes me as like the ultimate host.
Yes, that's it. Yes, he's the ultimate host. He basically he loves Santa Claus for the whole publicity of winter. They're kind of a package deal. So I'll admit there are a little bit of shades of Santa Claus 3, Jack Frost and Santa Claus. I won't lie.
Jack Frost.
Like, what if they got along? That's kind of the idea here. It's like, what if the Snow Miser
totally.
And it's so delightful. Seriously, I can't say enough nice things about the Snow Miser. He's definitely more magnetic of the two brothers. He's like, he knows how to push the brothers' buttons, and it's like the idea, like, he's the one chucking snowballs at the Heat Miser, which causes some steam. But again, it's like all playful fun. It's not going to hurt either of them. It's delightful.
All right, Pink Pearl confirms the ultimate Christmas present is about the kids finding a weather machine and it broke. Santa made the machine, and it was stolen again by an evil weatherman. Dragon, I gotta tell you, I love the idea of the evil weatherman. That makes me chuckle.
An evil weatherman? What would his motivation be?
I don't know, but the evil weatherman thing, it's so decom. Am I right?
Yeah, it is.
It's so decom. Honestly, Pink Pearl, we're probably not going to do a full podcast about it, but I'm going to check that out, and at the very least, we'll talk about it on either Plus and Us or Movie Memoirs. So,
okay.
All right.
All right, that brings us to the close for our characters. Let's check our list and check it twice.
Okay, let's find out who's naughty and nice. Yes, okay. Let's get to the naughty first.
Mm-hmm. So, you could look at this as glass half full, glass half empty. But the animation, specifically the lip sync, not great, but also kind of a staple of Rankin Bass. So
That's what I'm saying. It's part of the charm, so it's really hard to actually criticize it.
yeah, I'm saying it's like literally, it's not even the animation. Like I don't mind like the physical moves, just literally the lip sync. That's the thing. It's a little more distracting. Like you don't have like a pickaxe.
The
to hide
lip sync
that.
is bad. It is distracting. I will not argue with you there. That's probably like the most rough around the edges part of the production.
I mean, you don't have like a pickaxe to hide that this time around. You know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Again, a little off-putting. The whole the bits of stuff with Mrs. Claus looking at it now. We were thinking, but honestly, the other thing is a little off-putting. Mrs. Claus. This is not a full-on negative here, but Mrs. Claus. Did this bother you at all when we switched from her as the narrator to her as a character within the story? That kind of jar you a little bit. I mean, they go back and forth on it a couple times. If they did it like once, and then like, okay, she's narrator, and then
they do go back and forth on it a little. It didn't really bother me. To me, it just kind of like, again, it's probably not something that we'd see in a modern short by any means, but to me, it probably, once again, it just kind of represents sort of the more simple way in which we tell stories back then.
Yeah. Let's see again. Well, as I mentioned, we kind of crushed Mrs. Claus' hopes pretty fast. It's kind of noticeable.
Yeah, that's like the glaring thing, man.
And it's literally remember the way we staged that too. It's like from behind. Oh, I look just like him from behind, and then it says, "Oh, hey," and then she turns around and says, "Oh, Mrs. Claus," and like, "Oh, this won't work." All right. Let's see. Okay. So the song. So the big the "I Believe in Santa Claus" song. I gotta tell you, Santa Claus, with that song, a little self-indulgent.
Oh man,
Think about it. Let's see, again, I'm not that one make clear. Song, not bad, but here's
I
the thing:
have a completely different take on it, sir.
by all means, but just think, just noodle this.
You remember that song, "What If God Was One of Us"?
Yeah.
To me, the Santa Claus is kind of like it's kind of like the. This is like the more classy version of "What If God Was One of Us."
Well, I'll tell you, maybe. Yeah.
The idea. Let's go. The idea is that. I'm sorry. I'll save it for my favorite moment. But go ahead.
Well, my half of this would be like, it just the Santa Claus song feels a little self-indulgent because it's like, okay, so Santa Claus is feeling a little down out about himself. He still feels like, oh man, he's learning. You see, like this kid doesn't believe me. He's a nice kid too, which kind of hurts my feelings. And all this, and this whole song where basically he's asked like, hey, do you believe in Santa Claus? And Santa Claus says yes. And I got to tell you, I don't imagine Santa Claus would be saying yes in the first place, which then leads the whole song piggybacking off that feeling. Like, why would he? Right now he's feeling down now. I mean, it feels like, yes, I believe in Santa Claus. Well, you shouldn't say yes to that. I mean, I don't know. It just feels, it's that, and then it gets in this whole place like Santa Claus, he's the tops, man. You should always believe in Santa Claus no matter what. Well, you're not feeling that way about yourself, right? You're lying to this kid in the form of song. I don't know.
All right,
You're saying Santa Claus is so great, but I'm not sure about myself, right? He's so great.
He's trying to convince himself, Dragon.
Sure. It just
you do not get the point of this song at all. Oh, I am glad I chose this as my favorite moment.
I get the song.
Here.
It's just I feel like that could be coming not from him, but from the father singing about this. Like, you shouldn't be singing. Or at least he should be joining in, not like from the get-go of like, oh, you should always believe in Santa Claus. He never doubts himself. He's not a. I don't know.
All right. Okay. Okay, so really quickly, we have some semantics about the Mrs. Claus situation with with Monkey and Pink Pearl. And guys, oh my god, we've had some good comments tonight between our two videos. I love that our comments are so active now. Monkey says, "Oh, two people who know me recognized me. Well, this plan won't work."
Yeah, pretty much. She gave up early again. Don't give up on your dreams, Mrs. C. You can do it.
Then I feel like Pink Pearl makes some really good points. If she had just said that she was subbing for Santa because he is sick, most kids would get it and accept it.
Yeah.
As long as she ate the cookies and left the presents, most kids would be okay with Mrs. Claus.
Absolutely. Still, it's in the Claus brand, man. The brand.
And you know what? I think Noelle did a really good job of illustrating that. That's like the best thing about Noelle is like Anna Kendrick like going around doing the Santa stuff in the third act.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Okay, I have kind of another thing here. Okay, one more thing with the naughty here, unless you got anything else.
No, go ahead.
The only thing I have here is I love where we go with this. Absolutely. I love that. I love our ending is fine, but I do question something looking back on it here. It's just we kind of undo, Santa Claus being allotted a holiday off. With him doing it anyway, and we kind of defeat our moral there. And again, it's a feel good ending. Don't get me wrong, it is. And again, the sentiment's still
once again, that could have been alleviated with Mrs. Claus just doing it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, again, we'll get to it later. I have some nice things to say about that scene, by all means. But it's still the fact of when you really think about those, like, it kind of defeats the purpose of the whole special. Really, it kind of does.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing. Like, I'm scratching my head. Like, yeah, I mean, the whole thing was about we're all showing support, and we're like, Santa Claus, you've done so much for us. Take the day off. We gave you a whole little holiday. We got some snow. We're all good, man. You rest up, buddy.
All right. Okay, so nice. I mean, I would definitely say I think outside of the lip syncing, I think the animation is incredibly charming.
I think the voice performances are great.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Again, I love the idea of Santa Claus not being able to make his rounds, and it's kind of a gutsy premise for like Santa Claus can't make his rounds. But again, they have to entertain a year without Santa Claus. Again, premise really solid.
And once again, it's a premise that's like relatively standard for Christmas specials nowadays.
But because of this one,
yeah, exactly. So definitely kind of a trailblazer in that regard. Let's see. I mean, the whole thing. I'm sorry, I just can't shake how much of a quaint sort of homemade feel this thing has, both in the animation and just how simple and straightforward the story is, and how nice all the characters are. It just gives you a nice warm feeling.
Most certainly. Of course, honestly for me, and honestly rewatching it, to me, the Miser's introduction onward is really when we pick up steam in the special. Not that anything was truly like it wasn't bad or anything before that point, but I think there's maybe a pacing issue, but I think things really pick up and become really great once the whole Miser plot comes up. You have to back channel with these guys to get things going.
The Miser plot is definitely the most memorable section of this movie, to be sure.
Exactly, and I think
there's a reason why those two are like some of the most iconic Rankin Bass characters.
That's when we hit our story stride, and I feel it's absolutely it's like Act 3. I don't know if I'd call it Act 3 entirely, maybe like the end of Act 2, where that's where things really pick up.
All
right, message about Christmas spirit. Very nice.
Oh yeah.
Again, we're continuing the story of the Mickey Rooney Santa Claus with.
We are. Yes.
With the first installment, which again makes you really want to do a back-to-back on one of these days, because again, I think there's an excellent story there. I love it when the mayor gets the call from his wife. That's really funny.
Just in general, I feel like this movie's got a lot of outside of maybe the elves, which is a shame. This movie's got a lot of fun side characters to it.
You ever notice how we really have a hard time getting really good elf characters in these Christmas things?
I mean, yeah, we have Prep and Landing. We have
those are great.
Elf.
Yes, we have.
But really, that's about
and Arthur
it.
Christmas. We have a solid
Arthur
take on
Christmas. Totally.
It's
Arthur
kind of
Christmas.
Outside of those three, I think it'd be hard pressed to. I mean, I like Fred Claus for sure. I don't think a lot of other people do. I mean, I think you can count him on one.
I've warmed up to Fred Claus a lot over the years.
I get a kick out of Fred Claus. I don't know what else is problem. My point is, I think you can count roughly one.
If Paul Giamatti wasn't in that movie, I think I'd think lesser of it. But it's got Paul Giamatti Santa. I mean, how can you go wrong?
Anyway,
Paul Giamatti is a world-weary Santa, kind of like this Santa.
I just think Fred Claus to me is just an ingenious premise of like, what if Santa Claus did have a brother who wasn't crazy about it? It's great. Anyway, but yeah, what was I getting? Oh yeah, so another point here. Again, I love the tenderness and the human interaction here. Santa Claus and the dog catcher scene is brilliant, man. Him caring for that reindeer, and it's like this little. It feels like an Albuquerque first interaction. It kind of does.
Oh, God,
it feels like
saying that because it involves animals and it reminds you of the vet.
Well, A little bit. But seriously, though, isn't it? I'm saying seriously, that interaction. Tell me that doesn't bring a little Albuquerque versus they have guys just like get some respect from this other strangers kind of passing by, cares about the animals. They reciprocates that. Oh man, yeah, you got to get that. You get reindeer there. I don't know.
Also, Monkey's informing us that there's 3 or 4 specials with Mickey Rooney as Santa.
Yes, that's an excellent point. I know. Well, here's the thing: he appears in now Mickey Rooney. From my understanding, he was not in Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't think he was. Was he?
I don't know. Monkey is the expert on Rankin Bass.
My assumption was no, because if he is, and that's 3, and there's a 4th one, I'm sure is like I think he appears in like the Frost when we do Frosty in stop motion, which always felt kind of wrong to me, but. It's the point being. I'm sure he showed up in other stop motion kind of ensemble pieces. Let's call it. But, I mean, I know we have 2 legit Mickey Rooney ones.
Okay, I'm sorry. While we're on the subject of elves, I have to point out one bad one and one good one.
Okay.
All right. The bad one, not that the characters themselves are awful, but I hated the design of the elves in Noel.
Well, yeah, the fact that there wasn't a design for the elves.
Really, really uninspired.
Yeah.
But a really good one, man. A really good one. Bernard.
Yes.
Bernard from the first 2 Santa Claus
That's
movies.
a gutsy take on the elves, too. Just make them kids. Of course, whenever you think of an elf, you think, either a little person or old person. Little kind of very elfy, very, very traditional. Which, of course,
I cannot even explain to you how much I like Bernard. We've already been over this.
Bernard is great, and he's in Addams Family too.
yes. All right.
Okay.
Again, so Santa says Mickey was in Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July.
Do it.
And the Miser Brothers spinoff.
Oh, so that was a spinoff. Oh, by the way, I should mention that here. I guess I should mention it here too. All right, so I meant to mention this somewhere with the Miser Brothers. I'll bring it up since you brought it up. Did you know they did? There's a 2006, live action adaptation of.
Yes, Monkey. I didn't know about this until just today when Monkey asked, like, "Oh, are you doing the live action version or the original?" I'm like, I did not know there was a live action version.
Do you know just a few? They have a great cast in this. Do you know who some of the people are?
Oh God, Monkey listed them off, but
I can tell you. Okay, so we have John Goodman as Santa Claus.
Yes.
We have Carol Kane as Mother Nature, and here's the best part. You ready for this? You ready? Okay, here are the Misers. Okay. We have Harvey Fierstein as Heat Miser. You remember
that's good.
Robin Williams' brother from Mrs. Doubtfire for the kids.
Yeah.
And of course, Michael McKean as Snow Miser.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I need to check that out.
I gotta tell you, some of the effects did not look great, but I'll tell you, man, that cast alone makes me want to check it out.
Anyway,
yes. Okay, so sorry. Point one more positive for me again. The whole perennial sympathy for Santa Claus and adulthood. That kind of you reciprocate when you look back on it. Really nice.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now time to get to our favorite moment. So let's talk about that doctor. I mean, we've already kind of talked about it, but I don't know. For me, first of all, Dragon, the thing that I love, the thing that kind of cements him is I really love how he points out something that's very logical that nobody ever points out about Santa, is that he is flying in like extreme cold conditions all night long. And that would get to a person physically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to get really nostalgic on you here. You ready for this?
Okay.
I'm going deep nostalgic.
Oh, dear. All right.
I know. Unfortunately, I know you have not really partaked in Cat Dog, unfortunately. How familiar are you with Cat Dog at all, right?
Well, I don't want to say Cat Dog isn't one of my favorites, but I certainly watched it. I want to say I've seen every episode.
Okay, let me see if this rings any bells for you. So, Cat gets Dog in like this kind of like this dog sledding race where essentially, Dog is supposed to get him across the finish line. It's just this coziest thing I've ever saw as a kid.
Right.
Was Cat inside. He's wearing this giant, like, puffy winter coat. But
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I can picture it in my mind. I can imagine it.
He goes inside the coat, and essentially it's like a little lodge inside the thing.
Right.
Where he, where he has like a little monitor. He's got some hot cocoa. And of course, years later, Family Guy kind of
I vividly remember this. Yeah.
Years later, Family Guy did this with Stewie, like, a crow, and I said a short one. That whole thing where he's the butler inside the little. My point is, I love the whole cozy sledding idea. I love that idea. I've always imagine like if Santa Claus could do it right, man, you'd have like a little just box it up a little bit, man, and just little cozier, a little safer. You have to heat it in there, man. Why is he
okay? But still, like I said, I love the idea of like pointing out the semantics. I love how just kind of short-tempered this guy is, and I do love how he does set off the plot. Santa was just having a tiny bit of self-doubt, but this guy's just like, "You're finished, Santa. You're a joke. Nobody cares about you."
There's something so human in that too, where again, like any average, every guy has an opinion. It's like, this guy lost his spirits, therefore he thinks everybody's lost his spirit because one guy, one a-hole. It's like, no one cares anymore. What are you even doing it for? You're a fat old man like this,
All right. Okay, and then we have one of my favorite moments, Dragon, is the Santa song. I'm sorry.
Again, fine song. I question the rationale behind it. All right, it's a fine song.
All right. But God. I'm not gonna lie, Dragon. I'm not gonna lie. One of the reasons I have this as one of my favorite songs is because of South Park.
Well, now you think you've deflated a lot of your argument there.
Okay, give a listen to this. Give a listen to this.
Oh no.
Christmas time is once a year. Every critter holds it dear. Every animal, big or small. Christmas means so much to us all. It's once a year, it's Christmas time. And it happens once a year. It's once a year at Christmas time. When we hear about how Christmas only comes once a year.
Yeah, I got a lot of mad nostalgia for that in particular. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That plays a part in why I like the song. All right, sue me. But
I'll sue you in court.
But you know what, Dragon? I wasn't lying. I wasn't being facetious when I was saying the whole what if God was one of us thing. Because that honestly is kind of what I think the point of this song is. The point of the song, to me, I think the best answer about what is Santa Claus, the best thing to tell a kid who is just starting to not believe in Santa is to essentially tell them Santa Claus isn't a real person, but he's an idea. And the idea of Santa Claus is like the human spirit. It's the love of gift giving during the season. It's being kind to one another. It's that brotherly and sisterly spirit in the air. That's what Santa Claus is. And Dragon, I really subscribe to that, my friend. I really subscribe to that philosophy, especially as an adult, man. I can't even tell you, in the last couple of years, now that I actually have a job, I look way more forward to giving gifts than I do getting gifts. I mean, getting gifts to me, it's kind of just all right, I'll go on Amazon and, see if I can order a few things. 'Cause my grandma doesn't know what the hell to get me, but
I did almost kill a man with holiday cheer today. Seriously, I don't know.
I want to hear this story. I want to hear this story. How did you almost kill a man with holiday cheer?
So I don't like to be a boastful man, but I am kind of a gift-giving master. I like to think of myself. And I tell you, man, I very well strategize my gifts and the meaning and the significance. I make it an experience if I can help it. And I tell you, man, everything went off without a hitch today. And I tell you, one of my guys there, a big Seinfeld fan, he did not. I hit him with a bombardment of it too, kind of like a 1-2 punch here. So,
oh god,
one package, you had Seinfeld in jokes, as in you had this little mini Festivus tree, and you had the inside joke of a box of Junior Mints and a box of Juji fruit. Each Seinfeld references that I know. My guy, me and my friend here, we constantly quote Seinfeld to each other. The rest of the gang, they're not really into that. They're not super into Seinfeld the way me and my buddy are. It's so we have that thing. So I hit him with that, and he was laughing so hard he could have died. Then I hit him with something he wanted. I hit him with something I thought he could use. So the point is, I could have killed him with holiday cheer in that regard. And he was laughing so hard he was asthmatic. So I legitimately could have killed him. Actually, now that I think about it,
nice.
He was asthmatic.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, I love this this sentiment from Pink Pearl. She says, I was taught Santa is a feeling you get when you give. It's how Santa lives forever. He is the spirit of holiday, the spirit of giving. I'm not going to try and butcher that. I assume that's some sort of Hispanic term right there. But yeah, very nice sentiment there, Pink Pearl. Very nice sentiment. Love that, honestly. But yeah, anyways, my point is that is what that song represents to me. You know, is I don't think it's Santa having an ego at all. I think it's Santa kind of like reaching out, and it's like oh, excuse me. You know, it's like, no, you don't get it. Santa isn't a person, it's an idea. And the whole thing of like, do you believe in Santa Claus? I've always taken it as more like, is less, do you believe in my greatness, and more, you know, do you believe in the power of giving and of the general decency of mankind? And that's how I take that song. And that's why I honestly find the song kind of profound. So yeah, there's my argument for that. Anyways, finally, let's talk about the mayor. I don't have much to say about the mayor. I just love how he can't stop laughing. You know, they're trying to explain this situation to him in like the most straightforward way they can, and the mayor just thinks it's like one huge joke, and he's just like uncontrollably like guffawing about it. I don't know, just a lot of fun. Not much to add there. I just thought it was amusing. Anyways, all right, that's about it, Dragon.
All right, okay, my moments. Okay, so big one. I would be foolish if I did not take this moment. Snow Miser, the Snow Miser song.
Okay, you know where I have a lot of nostalgia for this, right?
Yes, I'm aware where you have a lot of nostalgia for
Tell
this.
the folks.
Of course, Tiki. Tiki loves Batman and Robin more than most.
I do, man. Batman and Robin is one of my favorite so bad it's good movies.
Yep. Anyways, of course, in Batman and Robin, very, of course, see, when it comes to Batman and Robin, the one scene I gravitate towards with Mr. Freeze is like the one scene where we kind of got it right, where it's like him watching his wedding video with him and Nora. Love that scene, man. So it's like, that's where we have like entertainment. What if we took Schwarzenegger seriously? On the flip side of that, we have Schwarzenegger on another little TV, maybe even the same, watching the Snow Miser song playing. He's forcing his henchmen who are like trying to thaw out TV dinners, sing, while he has like a frozen cigar, which still makes no sense to me, but he has like a frozen cigar. Mr. You know, they're all singing together. I missed the White Christmas. I missed the snow. Anyway, so back to talking about the scene itself. So this is a wonderful character introduction. It's a catchy song. It's very well animated. I'd argue the effects come out a little better than the Heat Miser song. The Heat Miser song, basically, he's eating like the fire, but it's really like kind of a cotton candy effect. That one really, you know, doesn't look as great as when the Snow Miser turns things into little kind of snowflakes in animation. Or the
Snow Miser is the original Elsa.
Oh, you know what they say, the cold never bothered them anyways. But seriously though, my favorite bit in the animation, I think the best shot in the whole thing animation-wise is the spin. You know what I'm talking about, the spin, right? When he just spins and oh, it looks flawless. It's like, oh god, it looks great, man. So that the snow effects. He points the Snow Miser has so much energy, and he's such like a master of ceremonies in that song. Again, my favorite part of the special is the Snow Miser song. The whole Snow Miser segment's the best part of the whole special, man.
I would totally agree. It's easily the most iconic part of the special.
Easily. When I think of the special, I'm thinking Snow Miser. Okay.
And I mean, come on. It's like how you know, the song is like ridiculously catchy.
It's so catchy, it made its way into a Batman movie. So, you know, which again, look, Batman and Robin, I think like most people, not my favorite, but again, it's in there. You know, it's like it or not, it's in there. All right, next one. So one, I gotta be honest, I blanked on how great the Mother Nature stuff was in the special.
Oh yeah.
So I was really in for a treat. And of course, you and I very much, of course, our appreciation for good mother characters. I'd say Mother Nature.
Let's just face it, if they make another live action remake of this, just fucking cast Vera Farmiga.
They have to, right? We're not
right.
Yeah, we gotta. There's only one woman for the job. It's Vera Farmiga. Anyway, So Mother Nature
God.
setting her boys straight. Specifically, I love when she sets her boys straight. Where Mrs. Claus said, "Well, you boys, you're bickering. We're trying to set some fair terms here. You're not amenable to these, so I'm gonna have to go over your heads. You don't mean? Yes, I'm going to Mother Nature." And of course, the minute she says, like, "Oh, are we really doing this?" Like, yes, we're doing this, man. She's sitting down with Mother Nature, having tea, all nice, pleasant. I love the pleasantries. Sitting down, having some tea. And this is, oh, I don't mean to put you as like, no, my boys, they're causing trouble. They're bad, naughty little boys. Like, bring them up. So brings them up there, and pretty much like she does everything but tug on their ears. Where essentially shoots a little bit of lightning and everything. It's such a charming example of a logical logic. Where the heat miser and the snow miser aren't getting along, and Mrs. Claus, of course, being kind of again the whole mama thing from earlier, where again it's like they're very kind of like Southern comfort, very much sort of like a mom and pop operation. It's like, oh, mama. Papa, mama, the whole thing. Anyway, regardless, if we're dealing with this logic, of course, Mrs. Claus very folksy. She's gonna go. She's gonna go to their mothers. Like every mother knows each other. It's like, well, I'm gonna call your mother on you.
Oh God.
That whole thing where it's like, well, I get along. So she's very cordial with Mother Nature. Well, I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna talk to. Gonna call the boy's mother. See if we can straighten this whole thing out. So it's just an ingenious idea. It's like, yeah, it makes perfect. Mother Nature, of course, responsible for, in theory, responsible at the very least, has a huge part to play with both heat and snow.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. So it's just it's a perfect solution. The brothers bickering, being reined in by mom, is just ingenious, and I was laughing so hard at this section. It's great. Okay. Lastly, the sentiment. So again, maybe a little bit of a logic issue. I still love the sentiment here with Santa Claus being healed by Christmas spirit, man. Is it like it's kind of a we don't care moment, but it's also kind of like, you know what, we're at the end and we want to see, God darn it, we want to see Santa Claus in the sleigh. Right. Santa Claus being awarded his strength, getting his strength back, purely because of the Christmas spirit. It's the idea of all these kids say, oh, Santa Claus, we're going to miss you after the Blue Christmas segment. He's really touched by the letters and the gesture. It's the fact that he could have taken the night off, but the Christmas spirit healed his back. He's like, I feel fine. The fact that he's completely fine, it was all in his head in a sense. He's like, I feel fine enough to deliver the gifts. And it's a nice little show of support. It's like everyone rallying behind Santa Claus. You know what? I'm going to deliver the gifts, which is like, it's a feel-good moment. Does it make a lot of sense? Why would you just let him take the night off? It's going to defeat the Does it matter at the end? Really? No. Should we have had Mrs. Claus in there these days? Yes, we should have. But still, it's like, you want to see him in the sleigh and all the kids rallying for everyone's happy. But, the gesture maintained itself. Maybe next year in a fictional sequel, they would have let him take the night off. I don't know. It's a nice moment.
Okay, so that just leads us to our final question, Dragon. How's it hold up?
Well, I'll tell you. It's yes. But I'll admit, yes, but maybe not as well as I remember. It's still firmly yes. Firmly yes. I'd say that I think the latter half holds up perfectly. Latter half still holds up perfectly. Miser's Onward, essentially. That's what I was kind of saying earlier. Miser's Onward, I think we're great. Little bumpy getting there, I will admit. Again, with the elves, you really don't really serve a huge purpose. The fact this whole Mrs. Claus thing and that sort of stuff. Bumpy stuff and getting there maybe doesn't hold up as well, but the special itself does. The spirit of the piece is absolutely there. It's entertaining. No Frosty, if you ask me, but it definitely makes you want to go back to do. It makes me really want to go back to Santa Claus is coming to town and just kind of the sentiment, like, oh my God, it's just a nice guy doing good in the world, and which of course breeds the Christmas spirit, which kind of is what the whole piece is about, and it gives you a real appreciation for Santa Claus and the Christmas spirit and the whole ball of wax. It puts you in the holiday spirit in the best of ways. So absolutely, it does hold up. Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit high. I mean, I know you're high on it, but I think I'm even higher on it because to me, the only thing that doesn't hold up at all is the Mrs. Claus stuff. I mean, and honestly, I can't even hold that against this because
they didn't know.
We're looking at 2019 politics here, people. It's.
And I don't even want to infer most of the politics. Just the fact that we shut her down so quick too.
I know. But outside of that and some rough lip syncing issues, I think this is just a fantastic special, man. I really do. I mean, it's a blueprint for a reason. You know, it's one of those things where it's like you almost look back on it and it could almost be a little too simple because, like we've been illustrating here, it did kind of like almost kind of create a subgenre of Christmas specials in its own sort of way. But I mean, man, just one of the things that really appeals to me about it, like I keep saying, is just how utterly simple and charming it is, and it's just so wholesome. And I don't know, it's just I really got a kick out of it. I really did. Just everything about it, from the from the choppy but charming animation to the awesome miser segments, and granted, like I said, the setup to the Mrs. Claus stuff, maybe a little bit of a plot hole, but other than that, I think it's a fantastic special, and I think it's a really good idea that we kind of did this as counter programming to Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas.
Yeah. So just to read Pink Pearl's comment here, I have a feeling if you gave this to a 13-year-old today, it'd be computer and CG animated, and the story would be changed a lot. And you know what? It would. Maybe to its detriment. Maybe not, but maybe as well.
You know what I wonder, though, is how would a 13-year-old even react to something like this today?
Well, I don't think that... Well, I gotta tell you, a 13-year-old today, maybe not as well as that, as I'd like to think.
I think certain 13-year-olds would dig it. But
I'd like to think so, but I told you, like,
wouldn't.
the 5-year-olds are starting to get out of the spirit, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a problem. All right.
I might want to put the thing back up.
Oh, yes, right, of course. And then if it doesn't...
Right.
If it doesn't stick, then just let me know, and I'll go back and edit that at a later time. All right, yada, yada, yada. Dragon, would you like to peek behind the Advent calendar, my friend?
Oh, yes, I would.
All right, go ahead.
Well, don't ask me if you would want it to. Okay, all right.
I literally forgot what the next one on the lineup
Well,
is.
way to just demystify the whole. Right, I was all proud of you from, oh, boy, he's going to take the reins, and nope, you're like Mrs. Claus. It's like, nope. Okay, so folks, next thing in the Advent calendar, something I think Tiki's going to really get a kick out of, which I don't think he's seen. A little Seth Rogen piece. Actually, it's funny. The director of the Long Shot this year, a new Seth Rogen movie with him and Charlize Theron, did this a few years back. I don't know if it was the first thing with Seth Rogen, but it was definitely this. And same director, the guy did 50-50 with him and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's kind of a reunion piece. This is The Night Before.
Yeah, I have not seen this, but if it is anything like This Is the End at all, then I think I should enjoy it.
Well, I think I don't know about that, T. I think you might I have a sense you might like it. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I think you at least like some parts of this thing, man. I don't know. It's
So give me a rundown of the cast. Is it like the usual Rogen crew?
It's got a powerhouse cast, man. It's got good actors, man. It's got
Give me a rundown.
Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Anthony Mackie.
Ooh. Okay, well, I'm most excited about Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, and he's pretty solid. And also you have
Give me some of that Muppet money.
A little bit of Lizzie Kaplan, and of course the one is really I know I have a prediction. I think Tiki's going to get mostly in the spirit over the character that is portrayed by Michael Shannon.
Oh, I do love me some Michael Shannon.
Tiki, trust me. I think you're going to really like Shannon. All
right, really quick before we go, Pink Pearl says, I just opened my Advent calendar and I got a Scrooge-shaped chocolate square. That's awesome, Pink Pearl. And Pink Pearl on Twitter has been opening her Advent calendar every day and sharing that. I've been enjoying following that. So,
nice.
Yeah. All right, so I guess that is about it. Dragon, just going to take 1 minute here to attempt to have this stick on us. All right. Okay, Dragon, go ahead.
That's right, folks. Time to go here. Okay. Time to dash away. All but as we wave goodbye, don't you cry. We'll be back again next time.
for even more seasonal shenanigans.
La 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 la
La la la
la
la
la la la.
I'm Mr. Ice White Christmas. I'm
I
Mr.
missed the snow. Doo 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 doo.